There is an invisible force holding you back in your life. I'm about to tell you what it is and how to get past it. Hey, this is Anthony Trucks. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on my Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and kind of, if you want, find out as much as you can about me. If you go to my website, anthonytrucks.com, there's a lot of cool information about who I am and really what I do. But let's get into it. There's always this thing that holds people back. And usually when I touch on this subject, people kind of, they get a little taken back because I'm going to tell you some specific things that are really going to kind of hit you hard. Whatever it is you want in your life takes effort. The problem is your perception of what hard work isn't hard enough. Now, when I say that, it's not something I'm trying to demean you or say that what your effort you're putting in is incorrect or the effort you're putting in is not enough, but the reality is it is not enough. So here's what I want to explain to you. Imagine you go to a carnival, and as you're walking through the carnival, you see this person that's on that, swing a hammer, hit the bell kind of game that you see people playing. Now that person steps up, not a very strong person, maybe a little bit frail, and they go to swing that hammer as hard as they can. They swing it, hit it, they just miss the bell. They go again and hit hard as they can. It goes up, just misses the bell. Now the thing is it's not that they weren't putting all of their effort in. The problem was their amount of what max hard work is not the amount of what max hard work is needed to achieve the goal they want. So the goal that they want to achieve, they can easily achieve if they put the work in. So it's not like they can't, eventually hit, they have to eventually build up their strength to hit it harder, to get it to go up, to hit the bell. Imagine applying this to a concept of, say you want to run a mile faster, right? Say you go and run a mile, it takes you 5 minutes, but you want to get to 4 minutes. You essentially have to go back and train. You have to apply tools and exercises and different things to do to yourself to prepare yourself to be stronger and be able to put in the amount of effort and strength needed to achieve the goal you want of reaching that 4-minute mile. So now that you get the concept of what it is holding you back, I want to talk to you about how to stop it. First thing you have to do is stop making excuses. Now, a lot of people have these massive egos. I'm a person that has with myself. And when we have these egos that get in our way, we're really good at making excuses because we don't want to look bad. So the excuses you make, essentially you're telling yourself like, well, I can't move forwards because of this or for that. And if I asked you a good reason as to why, you know your business, you know yourself, you know what's going on so well, you can come up with something. And what you come up with would sound perfect to the layman person who doesn't know what's going on. But that's not a good thing because they may relieve you of the pressure of having to do what you have to do, but the reality is you still are not there. No matter what happens, if your ego gets in the way and you make an excuse and you excuse yourself for what you have to do, good excuse, bad excuse is irrelevant. You are still no closer to where you want to be. See, now that you got that part taken care of, the next step is to step in and say, okay, I have to now look at where are my sticking points. Where do I keep going up this hill to get to the same peak and slide myself back down? So find out what a sticking point is and look at it in a different way and say, okay, I see the problem I have. How can I fix it? This ties to the ego. Really, it does tie to the ego. So for a lot of people, it may be, for example, a service business, and maybe you're a barber and you want to get people into your chair, and your thought process is, well, I'm a great barber, and I'm gonna do a little bit of marketing, but no one shows up. The thing is, you can't step back and say, oh, well, it's because of, that didn't happen, or, someone didn't put the flyers out, or, nobody heard about it. You can blame it and make an excuse on something. The truth of the matter is, again, your level of hard work is not what hard work needs to get people in your door, period. If you don't have people coming into your door, you got to work harder. You can't make an excuse and say wrong idea. You got to step back and say, okay, maybe good idea, not pushed hard enough. The next thing you have to do is find a reason that is important enough to you to get the job done. I mean, if it's something you kind of don't like doing, or it's just like, nonchalant, it's never going to be done at the level it needs to be done to be successful at it. If it's something that means a massive level in your life somewhere, then yeah, you're easily going to do it. But what if it's something at a low end? So when you come to this point, what I tell people is connect the dots. Maybe you're a person who wants to get a degree. You want to, finish your degree, but it's tough to go to class every day. You can't just sit and separate going to class and your degree. You have to look at it and say, okay, if I want to get my degree to graduate to get the big job I want, I've got to get myself to class. So if I connect those dots, class is just as important as getting the degree because it's what allows that to take place. So you have to find the specific reason, and if it's not big enough, step back, write on paper the connecting dots to give yourself a clear picture of what it means in a bigger aspect of your life. Now, here's the last one. I would think the most important one. If the goal you want, idea you have, no matter what it is, if it feels uncomfortable, you're on the right path. A lot of people don't get that is, in life, a lot of us want goals that we see other people have, right? So a lot of people want the same thing. Now, what I see in my life, and I see in people like yourselves' life, is the goals you want, everybody gets to the same point. 99% of people get to the same level of life, whether it's to progress towards a goal, wherever they're at, and what happens is it gets uncomfortable. And very few people, probably 99% of people, never take the next step forwards. For me, I love being in that position because when I get to that uncomfortable spot, I now realize that I am at the same point everybody else got. So the very next step I take is going to be the one that separates me from the pack. You got to find that perspective of knowing that the very next thing you do is going to be huge and paramount to the steps you take forward. Now, if you stop at that whole base level, you're not going to get any farther. So you have to realize that it's something that has to come from you in a depth of realizing that I'm now here, I'm prepared, and I can go forward to take this whole goal on and pursue it at a different level. And it's supposed to be uncomfortable. My coach in college, or actually a couple coaches, but one big coach was Coach Tomlin when I was with the Steelers, who said, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable to be successful. So when you get to that uncomfortable spot, you're there. You know it, now move forward. Now, I personally apply this to every part of my life when I come to a roadblock. I got to stop and I really have to introspectively analyze what's going on, what's the problem I have. Like whenever I make an excuse, I start to think about the excuse. So for you, when you start making excuses, think about the excuse you're making. Start thinking about how you feel, what's going on in your life. Is what you're telling somebody the truth? Be really honest. Are you removing your ego from the situation? Now, if you look at how that applies your life, it can make massive changes for progress, positive progress, if you apply these steps the right way. But if you don't apply the steps, you won't get any farther forwards. It's very clean, cut, and simple. So start thinking about right now. Like I challenge you right this very moment to think about something in your life, whether it's relationship or career or a business you own or your health goals or whatever it may be. Stop and think about where you're at with those. Are you at a roadblock right now and you can't push forward? Are you making excuses for not being where you want to go? Have you made very distinct goals for yourself and have a plan set out, but you haven't made progress on the plan because something came up? Stop and think about what you're doing and really be very, very analytical and be very, very tough on yourself, I would say, and see what you can change to make progress. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video. And this is, if you like these videos, the videos I put out every single Wednesday called the Hump Day Hustle Series, which is what you're listening to now or watching now. The idea I need for you to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss when that comes out. So when they come out every Wednesday, you get a hit in your email that says, hey, video came out. Also, make sure to follow me on my Facebook and on my Twitter. Visit me at anthonytrucks.com where I give away some free gifts for people just for subscribing, a free chapter of my book, and a really cool video series that nobody gets unless you are on the email list. Every Friday, I send out emails that are very, very kind of close to my heart, but you only get them on email. So you don't miss anything. Make sure to go to anthonytrucks.com and subscribe. And thank you. As always, remember that you can trust your hustle to live an unexpected life.